It's been more than a year since Longlegs came out in theaters, but that doesn't stop my horror brain from concocting theories about the movie, and specifically about its scene-chewing, lip-smackingly evil villain, Longlegs. On the surface, he's a schlubby serial killer with botched face work with access to satanic magic. But if we dig into subtle, cleverly hidden Easter eggs, and really examine Longlegs himself, we reach two glaring conclusions. Conclusion number 1, Longlegs is the Fourth Horseman of the apocalypse. And conclusion number 2 is that Longlegs the movie is secretly about the biblical apocalypse. Follow me here. The Fourth Horseman first appears in the Doom Scroll portion of the Bible. He rides a pale steed, and his name is Death. His job is to end life on a massive scale, and he acts under Satan's authority. How does this connect to Longlegs? The first clue. About 20 minutes into the film, Lee has to drive her drunk partner Carter back to his house. In the process of this meet and greet, she gets acquainted with his daughter Ruby. In Ruby's room is a statue of a pale, winged horse, sitting next to a trophy topped by the statue of a decapitated girl. A pale horse suggests a pale rider. And who was more pale in this movie than Longlegs? In the next scene, Lee is sitting at her desk. In front of her is a Bible. Looming above and behind her is a picture of a pale horse emerging from darkness. During this scene, she calls her mother, who, though Lee does not know it yet, is a secret minion of Satan and Longlegs. She's then lured from her cabin by the devil himself, which gives Longlegs enough time to slip in and leave a coded message before bouncing. The imagery is deliberate. The Bible on the desk, the spiritually compromised mother on the phone, the devil as a deceiver, a message hidden in code, and watching over it all is the pale horse emerging from darkness. It's a sequence that vibrates at the same frequency. Apocalypse, revelation. The pale horse emerging from shadow mirrors the hidden truth of his nature. The devil's shadow appearing behind Lee hints at the devastating reality yet to come. Longlegs himself sells this theory for me. He's dressed in pale, worn, grubby-looking clothing. His skin is ashen, his hair is limp and pale and greasy. He wears silver rings on his fingers, silver being a biblical image of divine betrayal. Longlegs creates and spreads spiritual pestilence. His pale horse is a white station wagon with wood paneling, but come on. And here is how all of this leads to the biblical apocalypse, or at least the quiet beginning of one. Near the end of the movie, Lee uncovers her connection to Longlegs. She arrests him, and during his interrogation, he takes himself out, smashing his own face into the table until his face caves in, obliterating his nose. This isn't just gore. It's a symbolic act of iconoclasm. Iconoclasts, angry at the church's use of idols, regularly defaced them. By chipping off the nose, destroying it symbolically kills the image, stripping it of its sacred power. When Longlegs takes himself out, this self-mutilation is one last rejection of his humanity, a humanity that was created in God's image. A last gasp of desecration that frees him to be with his father Satan in the Father's wings. Recall the winged pale horse by Ruby's bed, the painting of that spectral horse emerging from the shadows. If the universe of this movie operates under Catholic rules, where the devil exists, and therefore so does God and biblical end times, that pale horse is not just a visual motif. It's a sign that Longlegs is death incarnate. And in my theory, the moment he dies is the moment the end of the world truly begins. And this is confirmed by someone who knew him very well, Lee Harker's mother, Ruth, who was press-ganged into Longlegs' service to spare her daughter a grisly fate. She says it plainly.
You caught him. Now he's free.
But free from what exactly? From the limits of his flesh, from his mortal clay, from living under God's domain, free to work his evil everywhere, spreading corruption and death without constraint. At 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 51 seconds, Longlegs says,
"But I won't only be in here. I'll be a little bit of everywhere."
And this makes Ruth's warning all the more clear. The death of Longlegs doesn't stop him, it unleashes him, and we get a taste of what this will look like in those gutting final moments. Father murders his wife and tries to kill his daughter. A mother tries to kill her daughter and is in turn shot by her daughter. And a young girl is left without a mother, father, and basically spiritually mutilated. Bummer of an ending. But I think it's not the ending. I think it goes on. I think Longlegs' corruption spreads like a disease. And now Longlegs, having transcended his weak and uncooperative flesh, is free to scale his work. Like cancer, it will grow quietly, cell by cell, person by person, family by family, until the bonds that hold the world together just rot away. And everything that we love becomes a bloody plaything for the man downstairs and his pale lapdog. Funny enough, Osgood Perkins' second film, The Monkey, ends on a similarly ambiguous and potentially world-ending note, with death loose in the world willy-nilly and wreaking all kinds of havoc, while the Fourth Horseman of the Apocalypse casually looks on. So even if Osgood Perkins doesn't say it outright, this clearly points to his preoccupation with death as an archetype, and it makes a lot more sense in that context that Longlegs implicitly fills that role, if not explicitly. So that's my theory. Feel free to chew it up in the comments, or tell me I'm right, or to just say, hey, how you doing? And drop a like if you liked the video, sub the channel if you want more of this kind of content, and I'll see you in the next one.